Today I'm going to be exposing if you should actually deploy your capital into VFAT liquidity pools for crypto passive income. Let's dive right in. So first things first, this is going to be a full breakdown and I don't want to bullshit anything. So we're just going to dive into what VFAT is, what positions I'm running, how you can use VFAT, and if you should actually deploy your capital in here like I have deployed my own capital in here. VFAT is a yield aggregator and portfolio manager. As it shows on the website, they currently have a TVL of $24 million and that is slowly growing. Now the majority of their TVL is over on the base network with $22 million being there and just a little bit being over on the Optimism network. Now, once again, the majority of the users are also over on the base network. Now, on average, users are deploying about $12,500 into VFAT, which is a solid amount. That means it is attracting a higher value audience, and I personally only have about $8,000 deployed into VFAT. And the reason why it's important to point that out is because you want to go where the users that have lots of capital are going. And granted, these aren't users that have hundreds of thousands of dollars of capital. I mean, I bet some people here do, but for the most part, these are users that have around $10,000 of capital that are wanting to earn passive income. So if that's you, then this is definitely going to be a solid platform for you to check out. Notice how I said check out and not deploy. It's important for you to do your own research and not just listen to all the YouTube guys. Watch the content, subscribe to my channel with notifications turned on, drop a like, but use our information as a starting point for your own analysis. Basically, if I pull up my portfolio over on VFAT, it's going to show me all the assets I have in my wallet as well as any liquidity pools that I'm running. Whereas if I go over to the yield section of VFAT, it's going to show me different yield farms that I can actually deploy into, as well as if I am deployed into these yield farms, different positions that I'm currently in. So as you can see, I currently have about $8,000 across these positions. I have about a 300% APR right here, doing 65 bucks per day, and I have $185 in total earnings so far that I have not claimed quite yet. This is the deposit side of things. So if I'm invested into a position on VFAT and I go over to deposits, it's going to show me all of this information. I can also rebalance my liquidity pools. I can withdraw from them, compound, harvest, and zap out directly to USDC, so on and so forth. There's a lot of different things that I can do through VFAT. Now, heading over to the farms section, I want to pay attention to a couple different things. Number one, we could go to this little red icon and we could start to filter different protocols. They support PancakeSwap, Velodrome, Equalizer, Ramses, Merchant Mo, Nile, and of course, our favorite, Aerodrome. Additionally, they're across all these different chains that you can see right here. You can filter the TVL for specific pools, as well as the APR for specific pools, as well as you can select different types of farms. And the best part is it's not just an aggregator for information like Metrics Finance or like DeFi Llama, but rather it actually allows you to deploy directly through the platform. So for example, we could go over to Dola to USDC, and as you can see, it pops up here on the right hand side. We can deposit directly into this pool and we could zap into this pool. We could go with the actual assets if we want to, or we could go with strictly USDC. We could go with ETH if we wanted to, so on and so forth. Pretty cool stuff over here. But then that's not all, because this is just depositing into full range liquidity pools. If we want to deploy into concentrated liquidity pools, it gets even better because we can select our range through here. Now, I will say it's a little bit finicky when you are selecting your range. You have to do like -4% as opposed to just putting your bottom price, and then +4% as opposed to just putting your top price. But this is for a reason, because there's actually automated rebalances directly in VFAT. If you go over to the rebalance section on an active position, you can do this update auto rebalance settings. And here you can have your rewards either be compounded or harvested as you rebalance. You have a buffer where it doesn't rebalance just on the edges of your ranges, but after you go above the top or below the bottom of your range. You can also have a stop loss in here that will exit the position when you actually get to a specific price point, which I think is very, very important. And then also you have all these other functionalities like auto compound and auto harvest, which is pretty cool. Now VFAT also has a swap feature, which I personally think is a pretty cool thing. We go over to the base network and we do token to send, let's just say USDC, and token to receive ETH. And if we were to start to swap, let's just say 1,000 USDC for ETH, it's going to go and it's going to fetch the best routes. So this swap feature over on VFAT is just like you would have over on DeFiLlama.com. Basically, it's an aggregator of aggregators. So it will analyze KyberSwap, it will analyze Paraswap, it will analyze OpenOcean, and it will see what's getting the best route. In this instance, you could see I'm sending $1,000 or 1,000 USDC, I should say, which I can buy for $1,000, and I'm receiving $999.83, which is like literally basically no slippage. There's like 17 cents that I'm losing there. And if I'm doing like $100,000, once again, I am barely losing any money to slippage. I'm only losing about 110 bucks right here. And keep in mind that 110 bucks is most likely not even slippage, but rather just the fee that's going to the liquidity provider for those different pools. So it's a pretty cool swap feature. It's just like DeFi Llama, and I always use DeFi Llama, and I'm all about condensing my tools. So if it means I can now use VFAT for not only looking at my portfolio and managing my positions, but now swapping, I'm probably going to be doing that a lot. Now, as I mentioned, we could go into our portfolio over here. So you can see I have about a $59,000 net worth. I'm not sure what exactly this does track because it's not tracking all of my positions. tokens. And the reason why is because I do have some positions over on OV worth about $20,000-$30,000 that I am borrowing against, and I don't believe that those are actually included in here. But you can see like your total debt, your total assets, as well as you can also add multiple wallet addresses if you're using multiple wallet addresses. It's also an aggregator for finding different tokens to deploy your capital into. The reason why I say that is because it shows total liquidity for specific tokens. You can see Ethereum, for example, has $889 million of liquidity. USDC has $298 million of liquidity, and so on and so forth down this list. We can identify which ones we actually might want to deploy into. And if we want to deploy into them, we could start to view the different pools for those tokens. So I just selected USDC. You can see we have a lot of different liquidity pools for USDC supported on VFAT. This is yet again another really cool feature that I haven't really seen on many decentralized aggregators. I'm going to head over to the lending markets. We can see analytics across different markets, like for example, Bitcoin B. There's basically $76.8 million that has been borrowed, and there's $552 million of liquidity. So this is a lot of liquidity for Bitcoin B. We can also see the market that this is on, but it's only going to show us the smart contract. I really wish it would allow us to like pull it up over on the actual website. With that being said, to get back to the question of if you should actually deploy into VFAT, my answer to you is decide on your own. And the reason why is because, yet again, you should always be taking in what I tell you and information I give you, but you should also be going out there, verifying that information, making sure that everybody that's saying stuff online is saying truthful things, that they actually have a good understanding of it, but also make sure that it fits your risk tolerance. And the best part about VFAT is you can kind of choose which types of pools you want to deploy into. Because if we weren't to go on Aerodrome, if we were to go over on PancakeSwap, let's just say, we're going to have some more blue chip pools over here. Granted, they're not nearly as high of a return, but again, they have more blue chip pools over there. So if we wanted to deploy into high risk as well as blue chip pools, we could do that. Whereas if we just wanted to deploy into high risk pools, we could start to select some of these high risk pools. But the good thing about concentrated liquidity is there are a lot of blue chip pools that do a really high return, like 275% APR on Ethereum to USDC. Now keep in mind, we have to look at all the risk associated with it too. We take on exposure to VFAT, which is smart contract risk right there, exposure to Aerodrome, which is smart contract risk right there, and then of course exposure to ETH, and then divergence loss exposure. 4 different risks that we need to be careful of and need to be aware of. And make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe, notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.